Hi everybody. Today I wanted to come on here and talk about how to know when it is time to start letting go of your adult child. And I have 3 keys to success for moms. So for those of you that are new here, my name is Sally Harris and I help desperate moms who have defiant adult children. I help them regain their own lives by providing strategies and techniques and creating a plan to help them with anxiety and provide peace and hope. So I will put a link below the video for my discovery call, which is a free 30-minute call to do a deep dive and to see what's going on with your child and how it's affecting you as a mom. All right, so let's get started. As I mentioned today, so we want to talk about, how do you know when it's time to start letting go of your adult child? And when I say letting go, I don't mean giving up by any stretch. I just mean letting go of the perceived control that you think you have. As many of you know, I have walked this path for 10 years with a child. So I'm not new to this. This is where the passion for this comes from, is a personal experience. And so a couple of the things that you would want to consider when thinking about letting go a little bit more is, number one, when their world is starting to affect your life in a negative way. So if you are not able to do the things you used to do, definitely affecting you in many ways, emotionally and physically, that's one sign. The second is when you can no longer process their choices in a healthy way. For example, you start drinking too much, you start overeating, you start, it starts affecting your job, things like that. So you're not processing it healthy for yourself, then it's time to take a step back. And then thirdly, when you start obsessing over what they're doing. Now, I used to always say that a desperate mom is more powerful than the FBI. Trust me, I've been there, did it all. I know what worked and what didn't work, and what got me very sick and just about did me in. So that's where this all comes from. So I definitely would love to share all of that with you. So like I said, so if you start doing some of these other things, then it's time to take a step back. And I also think that when our child starts making poor decisions and they kind of start out on that path, I think so many times we hope, and we think that, oh, this is a phase, this will pass. And many times, hopefully it is. But if you're a mom that has been walking this path for a while, and it's destruction after destruction and poor choice after poor choice, and it's affecting you in this way, that's when you really need to take a step and take a look in the mirror and figure out what is going on and how it's affecting you. And again, we're talking about adult children here. We're not talking teenagers. So this, just so you know, this is not letting go of your mother-son, mother-daughter bond, because I think a lot of people think that when they let go, they have to A, give up, or B, let go of that bond that we automatically have with a child, right? That's not it at all. You just need to kind of rethink the parental mindset as they're an adult. So it's not letting go of the bond, it's just the mindset around how you parent and what responsibilities are yours versus when they were younger and a teen, because it's very different. So why do we need to pay attention to this? Well, the stress and anxiety will have long-term effects on your life. I promise you. It will, and it's not pretty. I've talked to a lot of moms where I've just come out and told them that if they don't get a hold of their own life and they don't start taking care of themselves, their child's going to recover and start living a healthy, happy life, and they're going to be ill, and they're not going to be able to even enjoy their child. So that's something definitely to keep into consideration, for sure. So in the emotional health and physical health, and as if you're a mom dealing with this, you definitely know that once the emotional health starts deteriorating, the physical health starts going as well. So why do we need to take this into check? Well, it affects your other relationships. It affects your marriage. It affects your relationship with your other kids. It affects your friendships. It affects your job. Are you missing work because of this? And then, of course, your health. Like we said, the chronic emotional health leads to so many things. So I have 3 keys to success for you moms that I recommend in figuring out. Now, if you figure out, yes, you answered yes to some of those questions, like, yes, it is affecting me negatively, then what do I do about it? So number 1 is identify how it's negatively affecting your life. Journal daily, several times a day. Whenever something comes to mind, you need to write it down, because all the fleeting thoughts and emotions that we have throughout a day when we're dealing with crisis like this, it's almost like you wake up the next day and you barely can even remember what happened yesterday. And there's so many ups and downs. So you need to write these things down. And number 2, what are you doing for yourself today? Like, I encourage all of my moms to make sure they're spending at least 30 minutes or more. Do something for yourself today, whether it's go for a walk, take a class, just move your body. Do something that's going to pump up your blood. Whatever you're physically capable of doing, do it. Because that's taking time for you, and it also releases all the good endorphins, right? So we need that for our emotional health as well. And then number 3 is change your focus, because we've all heard the saying, what you focus on is what will be, right? So, I mean, you spend so much time focusing on the negative, then we're going to be in a negative mindset all the time. If we focus on some of the positives, what is within our control, then, we tend to gravitate that way. So I think those 3 things are really important. So identify how it's negatively affecting your life and write it down. Journal. It may sound silly, but it works. It truly does. And while you're journaling, you may find that you start writing down some of these thoughts, how it's affecting you, and you may find that you can just take off with the pen. And the pen is truly better than a laptop, rather than typing. Literally take the pen and paper and start doing that. And that's really helpful. So that, as well as doing something for yourself every single day. And then number 3, changing your focus. Are you focusing on the positive, or are you focusing on the negative? Because that's definitely what your life's going to be surrounded by then. And I will say, like I mentioned, I had lived this for 10 years. And eventually your kids will notice, and they're going to stand up and take notice that you're not the same mom anymore. Once you're able to let go a little bit, they will notice, and they're going to say, I can tell you from my personal experience, the day that my daughter told me, Mom, I am sorry for everything I put you through, and I'm really proud of you for all the hard work you've done on yourself. So, perfect example if I would have not taken care of myself and gotten my own life back, and then she is, in recovery, what kind of a relationship would we have? I would probably be very, very sick had I continued on the path that I was on. So, hope that helps. Again, I'm going to put a link to the discovery call below, but let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.